It's a beautiful day here in Western Virginia. We're at Martin Station and I've got Maggie. And in a previous video, she's described this entire washing process. But right now I want to know about the evolution of the washing machine. What do we have here that turns into our modern day washing machine? Tell me about it.
All righty, I will. All right. Well, you know that we're going to be using a tub here to do the laundry in. Back in the 1500s, this was called bucking. They didn't call it washing. And so they had alternate ways of doing things. In the bucking was usually a way that you would move the water around. You didn't always have to beat it like these people did, or like I showed you in the other video. So here are some other tools that came out that moved through the 17 and into the 1800s. The one that is probably the oldest is this one. And it's called a passer, or a paunch, as they called it. And it was to work up and down in the tub with the laundry already in there. And as you push it up and down, it moves the laundry and it moves the water in the soap.
So you're pressing down.
So you're pushing, yeah.
Right?
They think maybe that's the paunch or the passer actually meant a log of wood. So it must have started out maybe just as a regular stick, yeah. But again, to move it around or to stir it around and to make that water move around and work through the laundry itself.
But this isn't a very complicated piece of machinery.
It isn't, and you'll notice as we were stamping backwards that it splashes everywhere. So it's not really very helpful. So as it moves along, and we get into the latter part of the 1700s, early 1800s, you begin to see it change. And this is an old form of it that came from, probably this is from about the middle of the 1800s. So but you see what they've done at the bottom here.
Yeah, they smashed it down.
Yeah, they smashed, that's where it's been hitting the bottom of the tub.
Over years, yeah.
But they've cut out the sides and cut into the middle so that now when you push it up and down, the water is squirting out the sides. And now it is, you can see that it's beginning to rotate. Well, it's going to morph a little bit further, and eventually it's going to come to something that looks like that.
Right, like a plunger with holes in it.
Like a plunger with holes in it. And this is called a hand agitator. It's still used today.
Oh, that moves the water much better.
And now you can really see how it moves the water around. This is the great-great-grandfather of your plunger, if you're wondering, gentlemen, where it came from.
Right. So, and then there's another step too?
Well, there's another tool.
Okay.
From these, and the ideal of these,
it's a milking stool, right?
After 1750, it's a milk stool with a stick on it. That's right. This is called a washing dolly, or a dolly maid, or a dolly peg. It had a lot of different names. A lot of times it was just called the dolly. But it does look like a milking stool with legs on the bottom. But where the passer went up and down, and this can do that also, this one also can go back and forth.
Right.
And those legs will grab the laundry that's in there and move it back and forth in the water. So here you have the birth of your agitator that you see in the modern laundry machines like that. We know that this came over here sometime around 1800, a little after, because there is a obituary from Colonial Williamsburg from, I believe, 1831, where there's a gentleman who's been struck by lightning, and it says that he did the dolling for the laundresses. I hope he wasn't doing it at the moment he got struck.
That's a lot of work.
A lot of work up here. This would be something that you could see a man doing to help the laundresses out.
I mean, how long can you do that before you'd wear out?
Oh, and when you put clothing in there and the legs are grabbing the clothes, it's very, very difficult to do. As we approach the Civil War, you're going to begin to see ads for galvanized tubs that they look like big kegs that sit on the ground, and they come with a dolly, and they're called dolly kegs. And you would put your laundry down in there and drop this down, and there you have it. And that's much easier than trying to do it up a little higher like this, you know. Of course, not everybody put their tubs up on stands like I do. Some of them had it on the ground like that. So that was another option.
So when I think laundry machine, I think old-fashioned, I say, where's the washboard?
Yeah, that's a question that we get quite a bit, is why is there not a washboard? And the truth of it is we can find no record of any type of a scrubbing board. In fact, the first time that we actually see it in the patents is in 1833. So we know it came over here through that period of time, through the early 1800s, but we're not exactly sure when. We do know that at Mount Vernon, they have none of it in their records. Monticello has no records of it. So if it came, it just came in a little at a time. We think it came from the Scandinavian countries, so it may have come in just a person at a time here and there. But
so we've got a board, but it's flat and
but
smooth.
it's flat, yeah. And in fact, this is even only rarely used. I use this in order to be able to use my beating on, but I would use as much a block of wood or perhaps even a rock, depending on where I was to do that. So we're not scrubbing on anything right now.
No washboards.
No washboards. Now, the beetles that came from the northern part of England did have some ridges on the top of them, but they were longer like this and were ridged all the way down so that they look somewhat like what we think a washboard is, except for they're very skinny. But they were actually used to press out the water out of the clothes. They were not used to scrub on. Linen, if you scrub it up and down on rough teeth like this, you're going to tear it up. As I said before, not everybody did this type of thing with their laundry anyways. You've got the Scottish women that were known for the fact that their tubs are on the ground and they stomp it with their feet. They put the soap and the urine all in one tub and stomp it around like that. I've heard that the Irish women also, but they're not well known as the French women for doing that. So it's all a matter of agitation, and that's something that sets the groundwork and involves into our
If you look at
machine.
modern washing machines, they
Exactly.
work exactly like that. They make the water do this, they do that to it. So it's all exactly the same process. They're just doing it with a big machine instead of
that.
handwork.
And something interesting, you would think that washing machines were a fairly new ideal, but they actually started being advertised over in the England area about 1750. So we've had washing machines that long. And one of the advertisements in 1790 actually has an extended dolly that's in the lid. And so you would put all of your soapy water and stuff and lock it down, and then it had a handle at the top that you did back and forth like that. And they talked about how much faster that was and how much more proficient than having a washerwoman do the laundry that way. So so here you have the birth of the washing machine in more ways than one.
Thank you so much for this great description of all these tools that turn into our modern washing machine. If you're interested in more information about this whole laundry process, make sure to check out this video.